welcome to All Things Sky Blue. Shortly, I'll be joined by Jonny from the Borough Breakdown. I know we've both got a game in between, but obviously this is the only time that we can fit it in. So again, where you can find us is on X or Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We are sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications, and we are partnered with the Anecdote Sports Bar. We are on YouTube, and we are on Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere else you can find your podcasts from. So without further ado, my right-hand man, as he always is on these, is Mark Smith. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Stuart. Good morning, everyone.
You okay?
Yeah, not bad.
Good.
I'm looking forward to a feast of football in the next few days.
Yeah, definitely. It comes thick and fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what makes it exciting.
It is indeed, well, especially over Christmas, definitely, and New Year.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we're also joined by Jonny for a breakdown. Hello. How are you, Jonny?
I'm great, Stuart. I'm Mark. Doing well, guys. Doing well. I know, just speaking previously, but yeah, really good. Don't know what day it is. With it being the Christmas period, but yeah, I'm the same as Mark. I'm very excited for a feast of football over the next few days for sure.
Yeah, definitely. They do come thick and fast. Obviously, we are. We're all talking before we both have a game in between ours anyway. You've got Huddersfield away, and we've got Swansea at home. So two tricky games, and obviously we will briefly discuss our past games that we've had. I know you probably don't want to, but we certainly do. So first of all then, Jonny, just introduce yourselves, who you are and where we can find you guys.
Yeah, so we're the Borough Breakdown podcast. We're a Middlesbrough podcast that pretty much chat everything about Middlesbrough from the game. So we dissect the previous game, look ahead to the next one. We also have a few things in between, which we like to play along with. Some games some games can't really say. Obviously a bit of foul language there, but I think there is a lot of crack to go about us. But you can find us on Twitter, Borough_Breakdown, all the social media channels. Just search for Borough Breakdown. And we're on pretty much everything apart from Snapchat. So, that's where you can find us. And obviously podcasts and all the podcast providers as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So let's dive into it, because we have, over recent years, especially last year, we played each other and we knew each other quite well, didn't we? The playoffs, how were they for you guys? Because obviously from a Coventry point of view, we did end up going through to the playoff final. How was the playoffs for you? How did you feel? Did you think it was unjust, or did you think it was fair at the end of the day?
Fair. It was fair, to be honest. I think it was always going to be a tight game against Coventry, always. And we seen probably under. Probably the last game of the season where we drew 1-1. It was really tight. No team was really in need of searching for a victory on it. So it was always going to be a testing game. And the first game I thought was a good draw, to be honest, because we've always struggled. I'm going to say it's the Rico Arena, but I know it can be named as loads of different things at the Rico. But it's we came out of that. I thought, you know what, let's go at the Riverside. We've done really well this year. We've never not scored for under Carrick in home games, and then the one day we don't have scores and you go through. But no, it's a really good time. I like that we had Coventry, to be honest. I think there was, ideally, if you wanted to go through, you want Millwall, because Millwall fallen out of form. But for Coventry, it was, I wanted them because it's a good side. If you go up and you beat Coventry, then you've beat a really decent outfit. And I've liked Coventry for a long time, when I know when Mowbray was in charge as well. So I've always kept an eye on them, and it's just nice to see that progression where it's been over the last few seasons, and obviously it's now changed. But the playoffs for us, it was a difficult one, because I think we knew if we weren't going up, we would lose a lot. So obviously we have now, and it was just, I think it was just one of those days, wasn't it? We looked good in that first 30 seconds, first 10-15 minutes. It was back against the wall, and then obviously the Hame goal was fantastic, and then it was just a difficult performance in that box midfield, I think, which you utilise against us normally. And I've noticed that you've moved to a back four every now and again this year, which is interesting. But it really just nullified us, to be honest. And I think you were more than deserving of going through on the night.
Yeah, obviously, because we won, it just made it a lot a bit of a special day as well. That last playoff game that we had against you guys before we got through to the final. But the atmosphere, you guys made the atmosphere absolutely 100 times better than maybe going to somewhere else. With the light show that you had at the start, and it was brilliant, weren't it, Mark? How did you find it?
It was definitely the best atmosphere I've been to on a away ground. This was my first trip to the Riverside. I've never been before, so it was my first trip. So a very, very long way for me. But obviously it was nice to win. But the atmosphere was fantastic. Borough fans got right behind the players. And to be fair, we were really good as well on the away end. We just the atmosphere generally was really, really good. It did feel like Landers Championship game that we're about to talk about, obviously on Monday, are probably completely different. But yeah, it was a brilliant atmosphere. Obviously, it was great to get the win. But Borough had a really good side there. They had some really good players. Obviously, Chuba Akpom was top class, and Cameron Archer obviously has gone on to Sheffield United now, who's a prolific goal scorer. And we had to be at our best to beat them, and we were. And Borough were a really, really good side. I think the key actually was not to concede at home, and although we drew 0-0 in the first leg, it was actually not as bad a result as I thought, because I think it kind of, dare I say, gave Borough that false sense of security, thinking that they're at home and they've got the home advantage, and maybe they would feel like more confident of winning. But I thought we stuck to our game plan really well on the night. And yeah, Hamer scored a fantastic goal. There was no doubt about it. He had about 2 or 3 on the line, and I don't know how he managed to squeeze it past them defenders. But and then for me as a fan watching it, I think they put 8 minutes to go, and then after 90, I was like, oh god. It's like going on a roller coaster, and you just want it to end. Just like, please referee, please blow this whistle. I don't want them to attack. And every time Middlesbrough attacked, like, oh no, they're going to score, aren't they? They're going to score. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. But yeah, it was a really long night. I didn't get home until about 4 a.m, so it was enjoyable for me. I got a few drinks as well. But unfortunately, we didn't get to Wembley. But we got to Wembley, so we didn't get to the Premier League. But it is what it is. We move on, and it was a great night out at the time, and yeah, looking forward to another game of Championship football.
Yeah, definitely. It was like I said, it was a fantastic night for us as well. But we move on, and obviously we come into the next season, but I think it's safe to say that both sort of sets of fans really were very optimistic about going into this new season. Obviously, I know you had quite a bit of a turnover, didn't you? You had 15 players out and you had 11 in. You lost your 2 main ones in obviously Akpom and Archer. But before I go on to the players, our recent sort of history, especially at the start of the season, our 3-0, for me, it was very unexpected. I wasn't expecting to have a bigger margin. I thought it was going to be very much of a very closer game than it actually turned out to be. From your side, Jonny, how do you think that first game went at the start of the season?
Try to block out my memory, Mark, to be honest. So it's it was to be honest, it was a tight game. It was a really tight game. I think we missed a couple of really good chances early doors, and then I remember the Silvera miss as well, point blank range. And we missed it, and we were still really finding our feet because we didn't have a strike. And what you're saying, there were like Archer, Akpom, there's Giles there, there's Ramsey, and there's 66 goals you lose overnight when they all go. So it's like you got right, okay, where all these goals going to come from now? And yeah, I thought it wasn't a game where I thought we were massively deserving. I definitely didn't think it was a 3-0 type of game.
Yeah.
It was more of a tight one, and it could have went. Game state matters if we put down the back of the net with Silvera. How was the game change? And it was just disappointing. But to be honest, I was just kind of sick of playing you. I was like, I can't be asked playing Coventry again. Like how many? I think it was like, what was it, 5 out of 6 or something? Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like I'll try to block it. I was like, oh, God, I'm sick of playing Coventry. But then it feels like it came around again so quick, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
But it's I thought it wasn't a 3-0 game, but I thought Coventry did enough to win it, and we were poor defensively as well on the day.
Okay, because there was an own goal, I think, in there as well by Lee Hannell, I think, wasn't there? So, yeah, so obviously it could have gone either way. How was that first Middlesbrough game for you, Mark?
Well, I was pleased to get the first win of the season at the time because we lost to Leicester, and we should have got 3. Well, even 3 points at Leicester, if I have to be brutally honest, because we played very well. And then to lose 2-1 was with a sucker punch. So it was a bit of a kick in the teeth. And I thought Borough at home, I thought what gave me hope was the fact that, as Jonny alluded to, the fact that they've lost a few players and, new team. I thought, they lost to Millwall first game of the season at the Riverside. So you think, well, it's probably a good time to play Middlesbrough if you're going to play them. So play them second game of the season, catch them cold, and we took advantage of that. So that was our first win of the season, and then we didn't win till about end of September. So it was a good time to play Borough. But obviously they're a good side. But look at the league table, I think Borough will be disappointed because they've look at the 1-10 and lost 11. So I think that's kind of sums up where they are in the season. It's been a bit inconsistent, and for ourselves, with brutally honest, and we now start to hit a little bit of form, and hopefully that will continue.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, as Mark's just said there, your form has been a little bit hit and miss at home and away, hasn't it? Really. How are the fans feeling under Michael Craig? Because I love Michael, by the way. I think he's a great manager. I think you will come out of this slump. I just hope it's after. Obviously, we've played you on New Year's Day. So how are the fans sort of feeling at the moment?
Fine, happy. It's strange, really. I think we've played really well this year, and the difference is that last year when we had a chance, we scored, and we were really prolific and effective in front of goal. This year, it's taking its time a little bit, where we'll create the chances, we're still creating the chances, which is really good and hard to do, and I'm really happy that we've continued that, but we're just not putting them away, and we really miss that centre forward. Like I know we've brought in Emmanuel Laaf, and he's done great so far. Morgan Rogers is doing well as well, and we just miss a bit of extra quality. We need someone to tie it all together. And I think what was interesting and what I've seen from Coventry over the last couple of weeks is Callum O'Hare coming back and how he's been able to be that final piece of the jigsaw puzzle. And you just really started to hit that form again. And it was just, and we've just missed that a little bit. And then I think defensively, we've just been really unlucky. I think I don't know if you have seen the video back and shows afterwards, but there's a highlight reel of the goals we've conceded this year, and we've conceded about 12 to 13 goals, which are all absolute just worldies, flukes, and really? you just what can you do right on those? I think Rotherham was a fine example last game. They had an XG of 0.07, didn't have a shot on target, scored off a cross, and then we had 19 shots and just couldn't score. So it was those are the type of games we're having. So we missed that quality, but I think overall fans are happy, and we're still 3 points off the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? So if you get recruitment right in, then you could hopefully go on that run again like we did last year, where it was probably about November probably was December, January time, when after the World Cup we came back and we just went on this incredible run. Hopefully we can do the same again.
Yeah, that was the same as us. We didn't really start our run until probably a little bit later in February, where we went on that 18-game span run, and we only lost one, and that was 1-0 to Burnley at the time. Obviously, who went up winners, but it was very much I haven't, even though we've started off a little bit slow, I haven't really panicked that much. I still think we're a top 8 side. It's just whether we can, like you guys, can take that next step into that playoff place. Obviously we'll go on to the players now. Obviously you have brought in Sam Greenwood on loan from Leeds and Lewis O'Brien from Forest. How have them guys fitted in, and what's your what are your plans for January?
We'll look to bring in January, and we'll look to bring in about 4 or 5. I wouldn't be surprised if they were permanent, more permanent than loans. And we need that centre forward. I would say we need a supporting striker as well, who play more of that Akpom role that we had last year. Just a bit more quality in that. We need a right back because of our injuries, and I would probably say we may bring in another midfielder as well. And how have they fitted in? O'Brien got injured the first 3 games.
Oh, really?
It's been out ever since. And Sam Greenwood is an interesting one, really, because started off really well, has a fantastic free kick on him, can contribute, but just went off the boil a little bit over the last few games. And I think it's just similarly to what Borough have been like this year. It's just that we've had on and off games, but also we've had a lot of injuries. After Port Vale, we had 14 senior players out, and that was our entire 11 plus 3 subs, who were all first teamers. We've had a few back since, but just being that inconsistency. But O'Brien, for me, when he was playing, he filled in at left back for a little while and was really, really good and was playing superb. And we'd like to see more in midfield, but then got injured at Blackburn and then Greenwood again. Yeah, like I mentioned, just a bit inconsistent, but there is a bit of quality there. We have the option to buy him in the summer for 1.5 million. But I'll be honest, I don't think we will. I don't think we'll buy him. So we'll be interested to see what we do in January. But like I mentioned, about 4 or 5 signings I think we'll bring in.
Okay, obviously you have mentioned injuries and stuff like that. So who are your key men that you think are going to be missing? Are you going to say the whole 11?
Look, Morse, because we have injuries, but also we've got the Asia Cup as well,
That's
which
right, yeah,
we see McGree and Silvera go, and then AFCON as well is happening at the same time. So we lose Senny Dieng, who was already injured. And you look at the side that's out, you've got obviously Dieng in goal. You have Tommy Smith, who's out for the season. You got Lenihan, who's out. McNair's out. Vandenberg just came back, but looks a bit 50-50. Hackney, O'Brien are both injured. Force is still out. McGree will be out. Laugh. So there's a lot of decent of our 11 that are out. So we've lost a lot. We've lost a lot, and but like I said, like you were saying at the start of the season, where it's a good time to play Middlesbrough. It's a very good time to play. It's probably now because we're on our last legs, I think, and which is reflecting in our results and performances too.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't actually realise how many players that you had out injured. To be fair, I thought I don't know. I always, when I see Middlesbrough, I just always see Force's name everywhere, or I see a goal popped up by Force. He's just one of the ones. How do you feel, Mark, about playing Middlesbrough at this moment with hearing about all them injuries?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a hard game at Middlesbrough, particularly at their place. I think at our place, I'd probably be a bit more confident, but being your away side, I think it's going to be a harder game. I did watch the highlights in the Rotherham match, and I thought Middlesbrough absolutely battered Rotherham from what I saw on the highlights. And it was similar to how we play against Rotherham as well, where we battered them at times, but we got suckered. And yeah, I think as Jonny said, the goal from Cohen Bramall from that sort of wide left and just managed to lob it over the keeper's head into the back of the net was a bit of a freakish goal. But yeah, I think they showed enough in that game at Rotherham to know that there could be a difficult side to beat. I think looking at the home form with Borough, they've had a mixed results. So they've had 6 wins and 5 defeats. So it's been a bit disappointing. So I think it's definitely a game if we play at our best, we can definitely get a result. I mean, obviously we played at Sunderland and we got a good result there last time out away from home. So I think it's definitely possible we can get a result against Borough, but we've got to be good defensively and play like we do. If we keep playing like the way we are, I think we can go there and get a result because, as Jonny alluded to, there's a lot of players injured and probably a good time to play Borough again. So hopeful. I'm not confident, but I think we can get a result if we can play the way we can play.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, from a Borough point of view, Jonny, what are the threats? What are the threats from us that you see from the first time that you played us to now in our little bit of turn of form that we've had over recent games?
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by Coventry this year. I think you've had to adjust ever so slightly from the previous year. I know you are more favouring that back 3, and I think you'll go back to that against us on New Year's Day. I think there's that box midfield and how you were operating before. It really nullified Borough's threat going forwards, and I think you'll revert back to. I know you played. I think you played. Dare I say a 4-5-1 against Sheffield Wednesday, or was it 4-4-2?
It can be 4-3-3 or 4-5-1. It depends because it could be 4-3-3, but then they sort of double up, so it kind of becomes a 4-5-1. So it's kind of both, I guess, is the way to answer the question.
So it'd be interesting to see how it fares. I think we'll have more of the ball and it'll be more of a sucker punch. But I think this time around, how you guys come into form now, there's a couple of players I'm really intrigued by. Obviously, one, Callum O'Hare. I've been a bit of a fanboy of his for the last couple of years. I know he's been injured for about 12 months, but when I was watching on his return game when he scored the 2, I thought, wow, I'm so glad he wasn't around last year with Hamer and with Gyökeres as well. But he would have probably gone up quite comfortably last year. I think if you had him in, and he showed how special he was in League One as well. So it's just interesting. It's just nice to see him come back now. Really talented boy. I always signed on FIFA as well when I was a Borough manager, so just that high potential. But looks like Sakamoto as well is becoming better and better and better as the season's going on. I think there's a couple of players which I do like as well. The right back, is it Awick? I can't never pronounce his name.
We just call him Milan or MVE.
We'll call him Milan. And I think I'd say those are three I'd probably look out for. And I'm really intrigued how you guys will set up. I do think you'll go back to that 3-4-2-1 and just really make it difficult for us. And I think you might come away with the win. To be honest, I think it's a nullified game from you guys, and I think you'll come away with a win. To be honest, wow. I think we miss a lot of key players, and finishing just hasn't been as strong, and we need to put our chances away if we were to win on New Year's Day.
Okay. Well, just to put something maybe your mind at rest a little bit, we don't play with a back three anymore. We do play with a flat back four. We started the season with a back three against Leicester and against you guys and a couple of other games, but it didn't quite work. People were finding us out a little bit too easy, especially more away from home, to be fair. So we reverted back to we've gone back to a back four. And probably from the Stoke game, which is I think that's about 6 games ago, Mark. I think something like that. We've just gradually got better and better playing a back four, where we look a lot more solid defensively. And I think that we'll play this game a little bit more as a counter-attacking game. So we will let you have the ball and we'll let you come forward, but it's then. In that transition, if we pick up that ball, we are quite quick. We have got the players that can catch you on the counter attack. Would you agree with that, Mark? Do you think that's where we'll sort of play and how we'll play?
Yeah, I don't expect Mark Robins to change tactically for this game. I think it'll be 4-3-3/4-5-1, and that's yielded a lot of good results since the change. I think the problem we had with the previous formations. Yes, it worked last year, but you have to remember we had some really good players who could play really well, like Gus Hamer and Fitz Gyökeres in particular were thrived particularly, and obviously since their departures, I felt like it's been a kind of square peg round holes where we haven't really had the right personnel to fit in the system. And I think now since he's tweets it, we do look a much better side, and the results speak for themselves. We've clipped quite a few clean sheets. We've only had 1 defeat against Ipswich, and obviously Ipswich are doing really well this season, as everyone knows. The only slight problem about this game from our point of view, I guess, is the potential suspension of Liam Kitchen, because he's been really good at the back for us. So I think if there's a chink of light from a Borough's perspective, I think Liam Kitchen maybe be suspended for this game. So obviously we've appealed against the red card against Sheffield Wednesday, which I thought was a joke decision by the officials, a disgraceful decision in my opinion. But anyway, we'll see what comes of that. But that's one thing I would say from an encouraging side from a Borough point of view is obviously we've lost possibly a key defender. But I would imagine Louis Binks, if we don't get the appeal given in our favour, it will probably be Binks who'll come in. So that's probably a slight thing I'd say in Borough's favour is we could be losing a key defender for this game.
Yeah, definitely. But I've said it before that I think Binks, like for like, I'm happy with what he brings to the table. I think he's a slightly better football player than Kitchen anyway, personally, from what I've seen. So it might be okay. We might be all right. But again, you might be able to catch that defensive pairing that hasn't played much together a little bit on the hop, and they might create chances just because of that communication isn't quite there like it is at the moment with Kitchen being there. So we'll go to you first then, Jonny. Can I get you for a prediction?
Yes. I'll be honest, I don't know who we're going to play up front. I'll be honest. But if Corbin is fit, I would say Corbin will go up front, and I would say Coventry will win 2-0. I don't think we'll score. I think we'll get beat.
Wow. Okay. Mark, can I get you for a prediction?
Yeah. I'm optimistic and go for a 2-0 win as well. So you might and I'll usually sit on the fence.
I was going to say, Mark sits on the fence. The past two previews that we've done, he hasn't.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to. Last year I was very superstitious because when we had Dana on, I kept saying I'm going to draw Middlesbrough, and every time it went the other way, we won. So that. But I'm going to break my tradition. So if we lose, it's my fault. You can have a go at me. It's fine. But in all seriousness, I think we're playing really well at the minute, and as long as we keep no injuries after Swansea, no suspensions, we keep playing the way we do. I think what he will do, Robin says, he will maybe tinker the side a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if, say, Jamie Allen comes into the team. So I don't think he'll play the same 11 all the time. And I guess from Borough's point of view, it's a bit difficult with them because of the amount of injuries that Jonny mentioned earlier. But I think from our point of view, he may tinker the side a little bit. Probably not too much, but I think we're good enough to get 2-0 and get a win there, definitely.
Okay, like it. I'm not as optimistic as both you guys, really, if I'm honest.
That makes a change, Jesus.
I know. I am going to sit on the fence. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I always say on most, X Spaces and previews that I do, if you win your home games and you draw your away games, you'll be somewhere close. So I am going to go for a draw, I think, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I know, obviously, the amount of injury that you got, I never actually realised, but I still don't think it's going to be as easy as a 2-0 win, really. But look, if we show up, we will give you a game. That's all I can really say. And I think it is going to be a close game. I'll be surprised if it is a 2 or 3-er, if I'm honest. But we can always hope, can't we?
Well, Jonny doesn't like that, but I do.
Yeah, I won't hope. I hope it's either way, but it's I do think we'll get beat.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw for my prediction. Anything to finish off with, Mark, before we do the word association?
No. I just want to wish. I guess I'll quickly. This is our last show for the new year. I want to wish all our listeners and viewers a happy new year for 2024, and. Fingers crossed we start with a win at Middlesbrough, obviously. But in all seriousness, have a happy, safe and healthy new year.
Fantastic. Any messages from you? Because obviously we will be passing this on to you guys. Do you want to say anything to your fans on ours?
Oh, yes, I'm echoing Mark's comments there. I say Happy New Year to all of our fans as well, and to yours as well. And yeah, I think you'll have a great end to the season as well. So you never know, this might not be our last podcast together.
It might not be. We might get that 5th and 6th position again, might we, mate?
Can't deal with that ever. Can't deal with that again. But yeah, all the best, guys, and just the same as ours as well. Just all the best for the new year.
Good, fantastic. So, as always, I finish off with a little bit of a word association. Nice and easy to start off with. But again, you can say no comment if you want to say no comment. First one is favourite away ground.
I'm going to say Rico Arena just because of your fans. I'll say
You don't have to.
I'll get favourite away day. I would say go. Oh, has to be Sunderland away, doesn't it? Has to be Sunderland away.
Wow, okay.
Well, especially to get 3 points there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Michael Carrick.
Amazing.
Okay. Riverside Stadium.
Cold.
Okay. Sunderland.
Can I swear?
Of course you can.
Shithole.
Player for the future in your team, in your side, that you can see somebody emerging.
Rav Vandenberg.
Okay. And Jonny Howson.
Leader.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So, once again, thank you to Mark and thank you to Jonny for joining us. If you can just let us know, Jonny, where we can find you guys again.
Yes, so you can find us Borough_Breakdown on Twitter, search for the Borough Breakdown podcast on Facebook and on TikTok and on YouTube, and then run all the podcast providers as well. So if you search for Borough Breakdown, you'll find us there.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Just before we do finish off, remember where you can find us at All Things Sky Blue on X or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are on YouTube as well. Please go and like and subscribe to everything that we do on there. Much appreciated. We're nearly on 250 subscribers, which is amazing. If we can get that before the new year, going into the new year with 250, I'll be absolutely thrilled. We are sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications, and we're partnered with the Anecdote Sports Bar. Thank you again, Mark, for joining me. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you, Johnny. Thank you very much for joining. Happy
New Year, Stuart. Thanks everyone, guys. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Brilliant. Pleasure. Thank you very much. Happy New Year, guys, and stay safe. Cheers.